Hey everybody, it's Top Thrill 2 fan bringing you guys a brand new stream. So I haven't streamed in a while, but I just decided I really want to get back into streaming. So I'm going to be streaming for you guys tonight. And tonight we will be taking a look at a new server that I'm currently working on. It is called TimberNetwork. It is kind of the home base for Cedar Hills. And I'm very excited for this server. I think it definitely has a lot of potential. And yeah, so I just wanted to start off by kind of showing you guys around a little bit. So as you can see, we've got a wall right here. This is basically just to kind of block people from seeing back here, just because we obviously don't really want people to see the flat land out there. But yeah, and then as you can see, we've got a nice little lake here. The lake definitely did take some time to build, but it was definitely worth it in the end. I think it definitely looks really good. And then we also have a bunch of custom trees and custom terrain and stuff that I've been working on. And then, yeah, and then so like when you spawn in, what you'll see is the Cedar Hills sign right here. This is kind of the home base for Cedar Hills. This is our sign for it. And as you can see next to this parking lot, we do have some more custom trees and terrain. We do have a parking lot right here. Right above here is just the building pallets I've been using. So just kind of, and I can explain that a little bit more kind of as I use it, or as I'm building today. But yeah, and then so you can see some more custom terrain over here, as well as another small little body of water right here, as well as actually I decided to make a couple kind of like rivers of sorts. And yeah, and then so right here, so if you get in a car right here, this will actually take you up to the parking garage. Um, yeah, there's a parking garage over there, and we also have a bus system right here. So this is basically you can zoom around through here, and then you can get on the bus. These two gates open basically when a bus pulls up. That those two gates open, and yeah, so yeah, and then here is the basically when you're going into the parking garage, we've got preferred handicapped parking, and then we've also got general parking as well. Um, we have only got 3 lanes, just because I think even though Cedar Hills is going to be kind of one of our top tier parks, um, I think just kind of for kind of size constraints, like I don't really want to make something super massive. I wanted to create something kind of reasonable like size wise. So I made like a 3 lane thing, and so preferred and handicapped parking goes through the same lane, and then we've got our 2 general parking lanes as well. Um, yeah, and then so here's the parking garage. Within the parking garage, you can see we've got some staircases that lead up. These staircases that lead up bring you up to, so here's the second floor where we have our preferred and handicapped parking, along with our monorail station up here, our very first monorail station. This is our parking garage monorail station. And then if you go farther up, then of course you hit the other levels of the parking garage. You've got the third level, and then the fourth level, which is of course the roof. And then so we did have a ramp coming up, but we actually also added a ramp that goes down. We haven't done the track for this part of the ramp, or for this part of like the ramp yet, but we will do that eventually. And then this is just kind of some land I've prepared for some more custom terrain. I might add like maybe another body of water over here as well, some more custom terrain and custom trees. And yeah, and then so our bus system basically brings you over to the parking garage. Like so, the bus is basically kind of a free way of getting over to the parking garage. Because if you go through the ticket booths, you'd have to pay. You'd have to pay $30 for preferred parking, 20 for handicapped parking, and then 20 for general parking. And yeah, and you might notice handicapped parking is the same price as general parking. And yeah, so I will just go ahead and show you the cars. So basically, we don't actually have a model for the car yet, but we basically are just using a minecart for now. And so then the minecart will basically bring you in to the parking garage, and it'll basically decide that based on which player you are. So if you're someone that has preferred parking, we'll put your name on here so that the minecart will go directly to preferred parking, and then otherwise you'll go through general parking. And then, yeah, so right here, as you can see, you do come to a stop right here. This is that you're able to pay for your parking. And then you keep going. And then this the preferred parking lane brings you up to the preferred parking spots. Oh, and I'm going to need to fix that because I would change that to handicap parking because I had to remove a couple of handicap parking spots right here so we could have the ramp down. And yeah, and then so I will actually demonstrate the buses. So we actually do have a place to store our buses. We do have like a little bus garage over here. Um, and then so I guess, yeah, I don't really need to get into the bus actually. I just need to select it. And then I'm just going to launch it onto the course. So we'll launch it. I believe it's 20 miles per hour if I'm remembering correctly. I think that's what I set it to. So launch 20 miles per hour, and then that will bring it on out into the track area. And then so once it gets over to the bus station over here, I will demonstrate kind of how all this works. So yeah, basically as soon as the bus parks, the gates open, restraints open. So basically gates open, you're able to get on the bus. Then when the bus is ready to go, the gates will close. Yep, like that. The gates will close, and then the bus makes its way over to the parking garage. To our right here, this white track right here is for the monorail. I don't really have a specific plan for that direction yet, other than probably the Express Hotel will be over there. And we'll have some method of transportation to get you over from the Express Hotel over to the parking garage. And then, of course, this is where you come over to the parking garage. And actually, I just want to get back on the bus so that way. That way we can make our way back over to the parking lot, or to like the spawn point. And then now I will get ready. I'm gonna actually pull it back into the parking, and I'm gonna pull it back into the garage so that we're able to park it. So I'm gonna just jump over here. And then we actually do have we do have TCC track over here. So this is basically, I'm gonna just change this to that. There we go. And then 1 to 2 should be good. Cool. So then once it gets over here, I will, I'll just go ahead and make sure I still have it selected. Perfect. Okay. And then, so what I'm going to do basically is I'm just going to stop the bus and I'll basically back it into the garage. So I'll launch it to 0. Once it gets around the bend, right about there. And then now we can just launch it. I'm going to probably just launch it at like maybe 5 miles per hour. I think that's a pretty reasonable speed where I'll be able to park it relatively reasonably. And then I always try to line them up as best I can. Perfect. Okay, I think that looks good. Awesome. So yeah, so that's basically our little bus system right here. And we do have 2 buses for this. Currently, right now, I just have them parked in here just because we don't really need to have them running around if the server's not open yet. And yes, the server is currently whitelisted right now because since it's not open yet, since it's still kind of being built and stuff. And yeah, so I think today kind of the plan will be to keep working on the spawn area and maybe even get a little bit of a start on the monorail station over here. That will be for kind of a combination of Cedar Resort as well as our first park, Cedar Hills. Cedar Hills will, of course, be our flagship park. For those of you who are familiar with Cedar Hills from other servers, for those of you who are familiar with Cedar Hills from other servers, Cedar Hills is basically it's our flagship park of this park chain, and we are really excited to be working on this. We are really excited to be eventually open this. I think that this will definitely be a very cool park. And yeah, so basically, yeah, this monorail station will be over here for Cedar Hills, but I don't really have an idea as far as how that'll work yet. And I haven't put up subparts for this track yet, but we'll do that eventually once I get like the terrain done over here. I think for some of the strain, I'm just going to probably leave it as is, except for like little parts. I'll add like a little bit of grass over here, and I'll basically outline it with I'll outline it with green wool. Oh, nice. And it looks like my on my I actually probably do need to change my Discord actually. My my Twitch Discord because I this is just a very old and outdated version of this Discord, so I probably do need to update that eventually. But yeah, it looks like the bot finally put out the ping that I'm live. So hopefully that'll mean we'll have some viewers pretty soon. And actually, we do have actually 5 people in the chat. We've got 8 HV Des, Alice Wydra, Donk7, Dropsnet, and Mark Zink. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, and so yeah, theme parks are something I'm very passionate about. I love theme parks. I love going to theme parks, and so I wanted to kind of create that space on my server for people who really enjoy theme parks. And I just wanted to kind of create this as a space for just a place for people to go that where they don't have to worry about getting into arguments with people, just because that has been kind of a common theme in the Minecraft theme park community. There have been a lot of arguments as of recently, and so I wanted to kind of create that safe space for people where they can go and not have to worry about getting into arguments with people. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I have that right. Okay, and so yeah, this is a part I'm going to have to adjust a little bit because this is going to have to be a little bit different. With basically going to be add custom terrain to an area that's already built up. You will need to make adjustments. All right. And I'm going to add a little bit of variation. Um, all right. So I think this should be all good now. And then I can just go ahead and grab that stuff. Yeah, and so yeah, like I was mentioning, certainly the kind of the main purpose of this server is to provide people safe space where they can just kind of go to enjoy a good Minecraft theme park server that is free of drama and stuff. And that's kind of the whole point of this server is to provide that safe space because I know that that's been kind of hard to find these days. So, okay, I think we will do that. I think that should work. Yeah, that part will look a little bit strange, but I think it should work. I think just kind of for the purposes of the build. I guess maybe one option would be to have it come out here, but I think I'm going to just keep it as is right now, and we'll worry about fixing it in a little bit. So yeah, I think I'm going to get rid of this support because I'm going to put some more custom terrain over here. So I'm going to get rid of that for a second. And I actually might even see if there's a way to still have it there. Maybe even just have it surrounded by terrain. And yeah, feel free if you guys are in the chat at all, definitely feel free to chat and stuff and kind of liven up the chat. It's always great to see people chatting, so definitely feel free to chat. Don't be shy. Yeah, I do want to make sure we're not having too many areas that are dirt. Oh no, try to vary it up a little bit. There we go. I think that should be good. And then we can just go ahead and top that off. And I'm actually going to do that just to add a little bit more shape and variation. Yeah, usually when I don't have much space, I'm just gonna kind of fill in the space with like a tiny little hill. All right. So I think what I'll do is I'll just kind of keep creating a little bit of terrain over here, and oh, I'm gonna have to adjust that support actually. So then let's do this. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna just pour the footer in right there. And yeah, I've been working a lot on detailing my builds. Like that's why you guys might see some new looking buildings and stuff. Like because I've definitely been working a lot on detailing recently. Because I've received some really honestly really good feedback that really good feedback that I needed to work on detailing. So that's something I've been working on is detailing because I want to try to make my builds look really good. And so that's actually partly why, um, I guess that's actually even partly why I started the server because I just wanted to kind of work on detailing and stuff, and I wanted to work on just kind of getting better at building. because I'm definitely very passionate about building and I really want to get better at it. And I want to provide a really, really cool looking server that will be able to kind of compete with other really good servers. Um, and one thing I do want to say about my server is that there will not be any donor ranks, just because I'm already making enough money with my job that I don't really feel the need to get money through donations to the server. So I will be making the server, or I'll be making donate. I'll be making basically there will be no donor ranks. Um, Everything will be completely free to all. So the train carts and stuff like that will not be off limits to anyone. It'll basically be free for everyone. That's kind of the mission of the server is to kind of make things free for everyone because I want to kind of create a community out of that. I want to make everything free so that everything is a lot more accessible to people. Because I've noticed that that's kind of a general trend I've seen recently is that more and more communities have been offering things for free because that's just a good way to get more people on the server and a good way to create a large and really good community. And it's also just kind of a nice thing for people to be able to have like train carts and stuff for free, just because not a lot of servers offer free train carts. Like I think one of the only ones right now. But yeah, like I said, the server is not open yet, but we are hoping to open kind of, I would say like kind of my general goal is to try to get done within like a month or two. But if we have to, certainly I'm going to try to push it out, like push out that deadline as much as I can so that we can make sure that this is kind of as high quality as possible. Because we are definitely very, very much like Cedar Fair. We want everything to be really high quality. Um, But one thing that will be different from a real theme park is that our rides will be automatically operated, so that even when server staff aren't online, the rides can still be ridden by everyone. Like we want to make the rides a lot more accessible to. We want to make the rides just really nice and accessible to everyone. So yeah, I just wanted to create some small little hills over here. Um, just want to make sure my mouse is working. It just is acting a bit weird right now. All right. Welcome, Aaliyah and Alyssa to the chat. Thank you guys for joining in. And I will be watching the chat. So, like, if you guys have any questions about the server or anything, definitely feel free to drop them in the chat, and I will definitely try my best to answer questions. Um, yeah, I do need to work on adding some more of those, like, kind of little divots in the terrain. That's something I want to try to add more of. So I'm going to try to add a little bit more of those holes to kind of make it look a little bit more realistic. Because, like, obviously, I mean, in real life, not everything is flat. So I want to kind of make sure I'm adding holes in the terrain and stuff so that way it looks a little bit more realistic. Um, but yeah, and so that this actually will be a very hilly build because that's kind of Cedar Hills. Cedar Hills is kind of a hilly area. And so we're going to add another hill in here. Um, and I will definitely make some of the hills a little bit smaller, just so that not all the hills are really big. And I do feel like I've been adding a lot of those shapes, so I'm gonna try to stray away from that shape a little bit, just so that we're not adding kind of all the same shape. And even that doesn't really add a lot of variation. Cool. So that's kind of a randomly shaped hill. I'm actually gonna try just kind of a little something right here. So yeah, that created a little bit more of a random shape. So like it kind of looks pretty good. So I think those will be the hills. This is partly just this is going to block the view of the terrain over here, just so that way we can have a little bit of flat terrain. Because I think honestly having a little bit of flat terrain is okay. It's just I don't want all terrain to be flat. So, and I think certainly from the guest view, I want the terrain to be completely flat. Actually, I might even just add I might even just quickly add a small hill over here. This is kind of like doing cookie cutting at Christmas. Actually, this is like that's kind of what this is reminding me of because I'm trying to basically kind of cut out shapes. But okay, yeah. So these will be the hills that we'll work on. Um, and I'm definitely going to try to get some hills over here as well because I do want to kind of fill in this area as well. Um, because I think probably before we go work on that, I want to have this area filled out, and I also want to fill this area with hills as well. Like I want to basically have every guest area filled with hills, so that way it looks a little bit more scenic and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not really trying to grab the I'm not trying to hit the moss when I'm doing this because I'm trying to make sure that we don't get a bunch of like moss growing everywhere because I do want kind of that mixture of moss and grass. I think it looks better if we have a mixture of the two. I think for some of the bigger hills, I'll add stone. Um, but for the smaller hills, I'll just put dirt. And then that's a little bit of a bigger hill, so I'll be able to make that a little bit taller. And as you can see, I'm kind of varying the height of things, so that way it doesn't end up being too boring. I think for this hill, I'm going to add a little bit of stone. Um, and I would say actually for the hills that have stone, I've actually been liking uh, the idea of using the grass kind of as an overhang. Yeah, I think that looks really good. I mean, kind of the overhang idea. So I've been using that for like a lot of these hills. Hi, so we've got some more people in the chat. I create and destroy this world. Sue Coxey and ZVGN. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the stream today. All right, so that is, I think, going to be the final hill. I think that looks pretty good. There's a lot of variation in the height of the terrain, so I think overall, I think it looks really good. And I think since we do have some stone over here, I think it would make a lot of sense for the bottom of this hill to have a lot of stone mixed in. Oh, I thought I had disabled the wandering trader, but I guess not. Um, yeah, I typically don't like the wandering trader spawning in a server. Like I'm fine with it in single player worlds, but yeah, in a server it just kind of gets in the way. And I think kind of that also partly ruins the immersion on a server if you have the wandering trader kind of running around your builds. Okay, I'm just gonna go from like right about here. Okay. So then now that will have replaced the gold ore with our stone blocks. And then I'm gonna go ahead and replace brown wool with 5% dirt, 5% coarse dirt, 2% pods, 2% red dirt. And then I'm gonna replace the green wool. Perfect with grass. Awesome. Yeah, so now we basically got our custom terrain. Yeah, and yeah, definitely doing things with World Edit definitely makes this a whole lot faster, which is really nice. And I think it also just allows for randomly placed blocks and stuff, so like that way the terrain looks a little bit more random and like kind of a little bit more random and natural. I'm gonna try to sprinkle in a little bit of bone meal to create some of the plants and stuff. I am gonna add custom trees to this, but just not yet because I want to work on the terrain first. I always try to get terrain done and then trees. That's my secret to this kind of building. Is basically just add a whole lot of custom terrain. Um, Try to like make it as natural as possible, and then add a bunch of custom trees. So I'm actually in some ways trying to make this look like a normal Minecraft world, except that the terrain looks nicer and we have custom trees instead of the plain, kind of the plain looking um, regular trees. Like the Minecraft trees, I've actually gotten a lot of feedback on, like kind of never use regular Minecraft trees because regular Minecraft trees just look really bad. because they just look really plain. And honestly, like regular generated Minecraft trees, actually, they're a lot easier to place down. But then that creates the whole thing of like they don't look as good as custom trees. So yeah, I would highly recommend if you guys are kind of looking into kind of how you can improve building, how you can improve your building and stuff, is basically use custom trees, make your own terrain. So like instead of just having a flat land, like add some terrain to it. It's like if you're on a, especially like if you're on a plot server or if you're just in a flat world, if you want to have like really nice looking builds, definitely having a lot of like custom terrain and custom trees and stuff that can definitely make things look really good. Some of these hills were bigger than the other ones, so some of them are actually taking a little bit more time to do are taking a little bit more time to do the bone meal. But yeah, these are all, I think, honestly, all of these look pretty decent. I think they look pretty good. I'm trying my best not to hit the moss blocks, because if you hit the moss blocks, it just spreads moss everywhere, which I want there to be moss, but I don't want there to be too much moss. I want to try to spread things out a little bit. Yeah, I think if you spread things out, it definitely makes the terrain look a lot more natural. And like I think actually some of these like cliff face kind of things, I do like this a lot just because it kind of adds that layer of depth to the terrain. So like that way you don't just have kind of somewhat flat looking terrain. Um, yeah, so yeah, now kind of from the guest experience, I think this will definitely look a lot better now. I think having this terrain here and kind of looking at it from the guest's point of view, this definitely does look really good. I think we're definitely going to have to add some custom terrain over here. Um, we're definitely going to have to add some custom terrain over here so that we can make sure that like when we have our people riding the bus, that way they'll end up seeing terrain instead of just kind of flatlands. So we're going to have to add some hills and stuff over here to make this look a little bit more, to just kind of liven it up. So I think certainly I'm going to be doing some of this off camera just because like there will be days when I probably will not be able to stream, but I will definitely try to stream as much, excuse me, as much as humanly possible. And Regress Z, welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for hopping in today to watch the stream. And actually, yeah, I currently have one viewer, so I have a bunch of people in the chat, but I also have one viewer. So thank you so much to my one viewer that's watching. Thank you so much for watching today. So yeah, and I'm gonna kind of keep working on kind of getting stuff set up, getting more terrain set up and stuff, because I think once we have more terrain, once we have more of these custom trees, I think that this area will really start to look very lively. And I think this will end up looking like a really great area. I think we definitely do need to add some more water just to break up some of the green, because I think green is great, but I think it gets to the point sometimes where there's actually a little bit too much green. So I actually might even get rid of this hill if that was, yeah, that was one of the ones I didn't want. One of the ones I don't necessarily care about, so we can probably just get rid of this hill. Let me just make sure I'm not going to destroy another hill in the process. I just want to make sure I'm doing this right so that I don't end up destroying a hill by accident. Like, I don't want to end up destroying a hill that I didn't mean to destroy. Perfect, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this hill, because what I'm going to do instead of this hill, I'm just going to put a little bit of a water feature in here. I don't think that'll really hurt this too much. I might have to add like maybe a small hill over here or something, but we can figure that out though. Yeah, and then so basically I'll show you guys kind of how I figure out water features. So um, basically I use kind of blue wool to outline water features. And I think I actually might have the water come out of one of these bigger hills, so probably either that one or maybe even this one actually. Um, yeah, so basically so the water kind of, my idea with this is I'm gonna have this body of water kind of come right up against the road. Um, like that. Yeah, so I'm gonna have the water feature gonna be like that. And then actually we could even have the water come from this hill. I know it's kind of a smaller hill, but we actually could possibly even have the water be kind of coming from within this hill. I'm gonna just grab some dirt, just because we're gonna have to contain the water. And actually it's gonna have to be grass, I think. Perfect. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. And then we'll just go ahead and do that. Awesome. Yeah, and then so what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and dig out this space right here. Yeah, usually I would use World Edit, but I'm just going to do it by hand because this one's pretty small. Yeah, for my bigger ones, I was using World Edit to dig out the space. I'm fine with that. Okay, cool. So then, yep, we'll go ahead and remove all of that. And then what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to add some, well, let me just go ahead and finish off this was kind of my outline just so that I have kind of a shape for it. Cool. And then, so what we'll do then, yeah, so what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to go ahead and use, and this will be shaped, this will definitely be shaped more, but I'm just kind of, right now, I'm just going to kind of start outlining some of this stuff. Like this will be turned into like that dirt mixture that you saw a little bit earlier, like that. And so I think some of that stuff, yeah, that should be good. And then we'll go ahead and put some gold ore down. And actually, I'm going to grab the blue wool again because this is going to be how we'll figure out shaping for the for the terrain under the water. So we'll do kind of a river type shape for this. So I'll just go ahead and cut out the outline. And that'll be some more of the, yeah, actually we'll do that. That'll just add a little bit more shape. We'll add a little bit more shape and variation. And I'll go ahead and add, actually no, I'll just keep that as is. Okay, and then so the rest of this, basically we're gonna turn all of this into gold ore, and then I'm gonna go ahead and figure out the terrain. I think in some of this, actually, I will use some of that dirt mixture as well, because I think some of this will be, um, looks good. Yeah, so having this kind of different feature in the terrain, I think will end up looking really good. And then I think in the kind of the top layer, we'll have a little bit of dirt mixed in. All right, so I don't know if that'll end up, well, actually, no, I don't think it will select all the dirt or all the brown wool, but that's okay. I honestly don't really care since that was only one block, so I didn't really care about what it was. Okay, cool. And then, yeah, so now what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and fill this in with water. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this whole area. I think it's 1, 2. So 2 blocks down. I'll just go and grab from there. Make it as moss. I guess it doesn't really matter necessarily. And this will be an example of something where I can just do that. And I'm also going to add in a nice little kind of waterfall type feature. And then I'll just go ahead and fill in kind of the surrounding area with a little bit of bone meal, bone mealed like grass and stuff. Yeah, so I do like to kind of break up the terrain a little bit and have a little bit of water. Yeah, I think having that water feature I think will look really nice kind of as you're driving by, you'll see the water and that'll look really nice. Um, yeah, and then as you can see, we do have 3 lanes up here, so we'll basically start off with 1 lane, then split into 2 lanes, then split into 3 lanes. And I'll actually explain the train carts to you guys, so that you guys can kind of figure out, so you guys can kind of see what's going on here. So basically, I have it set up so that basically our basically 2 people that have preferred parking, myself and one of my friends, we both have preferred parking, and then everyone else gets sent off to general parking, and then general parking is random. Like the lane that you go to will be random. Um, so yeah, since I am one of the players that is listed there under preferred parking, then that's why like it will send me to preferred parking. And I'll actually explain a little bit here with some of the I'll explain a little bit here how the bus system works, how we transfer buses on. So basically, well, right now I guess it is kind of completely, um, it is completely manual right now, but I think I will eventually add some sort of like control panel or something to streamline this to make it more automatic. But, or just streamline it so that's a little bit easier to work with. But yeah, basically, I just to transfer a bus on, we just push a bus on, and then when we want to transfer one off, then we change that node right there to that node, and then we pull the bus backwards at about 5 miles per hour into the parking space. Same thing with this one. Um, I've thought of even putting a marker on the ground just so that we kind of have an idea of where that is. Like, because I think especially if we don't have another bus in here, it's kind of hard to figure out where the bus is supposed to go. Oh, right, and then that's where we don't do a blockable, we just do a carpet. Because I would rather make sure that we're not running over the track, because the TCC, I think I have it set up so that the last block of it is like right here. So if the bus goes too far, it goes off the track, which we don't want. We don't want that. So yeah, and I do have to say I'm really happy with the way that I designed this parking garage. I think it does look really good. Um, and actually, I guess I could actually create like a little bit of a river. But that would actually, yeah, that would be too close to that river, I think, or I guess I could even connect with the river over here. I don't know, but yeah, actually, I think a river going through here would be cool, though. I think that is definitely something I want to do at some point. Is create some sort of river to go through there. But yeah, I think honestly, this is looking really good so far. I think I'm happy with where it's at right now. I think if you stop, you'll realize that that's just flat land, but I think people will be going fast enough. Like I'm gonna go and just kind of look at it from the guest perspective, like they just to kind of see how that'll look. Either would like to know, kind of from the guest perspective, if you really see the. I want to know from the guest perspective if you really see the flat land, or if it's more just kind of you're going fast enough for sure you don't see it. And I think honestly, you probably wouldn't even see it if you didn't notice, or if you weren't looking for it, you probably wouldn't see it. But oh, and I have stopped naming trains. Besides like when we're doing stuff like stations and stuff, I've stopped naming trains. Like when I'm saving trains, because like that way like the names can't be adjusted. Uh, actually, well, I think yeah. I guess I'm gonna have to create some sort of like garage name for this. Like for the track over here, I'm gonna have to have it like when it comes over here, it'll have to be renamed, I think. So probably once it hits like this track right here. Yeah, I think that'll be a good spot to rename it. And we'll call that G for garage. And then yeah, I guess one thing that we will have to do is kind of when it's coming off of this switcher, um, we are gonna have to name this. How about yeah, I think so. I think um, on this block right here, I'll just have it name. Just that way, like if it's coming out of here, if the bus has just been spawned in or something, that way we won't have to worry about that. And then I think for the garage, this is actually only going to trigger if you're coming in this direction. So I think it would be kind of so if you're facing this way. So I think it would be train west, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. I hope I'm doing that right. Um, and I'll have to test that later. I'm still not really 100% sure how to use the whole west thing. Gee, there we go. Well, oh, and then I guess that's a directional sign, so never mind. I guess you can't do directional signs with nodes. Yeah, I forgot with nodes you're not able to do directional signs. So then, yeah, so basically that'll make it so that it'll change the name to the garage. Yeah, I'm gonna just do this manually right now just because I don't feel like doing this a long way, so boom. Cool. Yeah, so now those are both called garage. So that way we have them. I think I've partly not done the trees over here yet, just because I've been kind of putting it off because I'm still not really awesome at trees. Like I've definitely gotten better at it, but I'm not awesome at it yet. So I think that's partly why I've been kind of putting it off. But I definitely do need to get trees done though. Um, yeah, you wouldn't think a small hill like that would have water coming out of it, but I think I just figured that this hill was kind of far enough away to where it probably wouldn't be spewing out water. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna try to work my way over this way. Um, yeah, I think this area I'm partly delaying just because I know that the monorail is going to be really difficult to do terrain around. And I think maybe one way of kind of solving that dilemma would be to have the monorail just kind of keep going right now, just because that will kind of help me to determine where the terrain goes. Yeah, so this will be a very straight track, I guess. I guess partly just because I. Actually, well. Oh, never mind. I did that right. Okay. I think I'm partly just adding a little bit of a slant to the track because I think it'll just look better this way. Like if we have a little bit of variation in the track instead of just doing a straight track. Yeah, this spawn area is taking me a very, very long time. I think partly just because I think half the time I just don't really know what I'm doing. Um, but that's okay though. And like I'm kind of learning as I go. So All right. And oh yeah, so as you can see, I actually do have a kind of a little scoreboard on the right side of the screen. I have kind of server information and stuff over there. So I have player world, online players, and then the IP in Discord. And I've actually been thinking about having this monorail system actually take you to every park. And I've also thought about having warps as well, just because I realize having warps would just kind of make that process a little bit easier, so that people don't have to worry about like, all the teleporting and or all the like not teleporting, I guess, but so that people don't have to worry so much about getting to and from the parks and stuff. So I will probably have warp commands available. Okay, so we're gonna select from there. There, and then we're gonna go ahead and do all the brown wool and also all the green wool. And now we're gonna do the gold ore. Oh, that's just regular dirt, regular stone. All right, so from here. All right, and so that'll be a nice little terrain feature right there. Actually, I'll just go ahead and do that actually, just so that way add a little variation in the height. And I will trim down like the taller grass. If I get tall grass, I'll just trim that out. Like if I'm getting it by the track, because I obviously don't want the track to be completely overgrown by tall grass. Because the monorail will be going over this, so I just want to make sure that some of the taller grass right here is replaced by just regular grass. There we go. And I think honestly the biggest tip that I could give for terrain would honestly just be to just kind of practice it. That's kind of the best tip I can give for getting better at terrain is honestly just practice. And that's kind of how I've gotten better at it is just kind of by practicing and doing it. So yeah, if you ever are looking to get better at terrain, just kind of practice. And I would say just try to shape it realistically and stuff. And I think kind of the rest will follow from there. Mm. Thank you so much to all those in the chat right now. Thank you so much for joining in. Looks like Rockin has joined. Three Mike has joined. Thank you so much for joining in, guys. It's great to have you in the chat. And yeah, thank you all those who are watching the stream right now. Thank you so much for watching, and definitely enjoy the stream. All right, I hope you enjoy the stream today. And I will try to get on kind of a regular schedule for streaming. I don't know what that'll look like yet because I'll have to kind of look at my schedule and just kind of figure out what works. But I will definitely try to get on kind of a regular schedule of streaming because I definitely want to kind of stream the progress of the server. Um, and I think certainly I want to use these streams kind of as an opportunity to kind of as an opportunity to grow this server. Um, like it's kind of my opportunity to promote the server. So yeah, so I think these hills are pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably add a hill back here, maybe just to add a little bit of terrain right there. But I think overall, I think this looks pretty good. And then, of course, yeah, I'm gonna have to add some hills over there. But yeah, I think overall this is looking pretty good so far. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to add some hills over here. But yeah, overall this is looking really good. Um, I think I might try to finish out the stream today, probably at about the 2 hour mark. So probably in about 10 minutes. I'll finish out the stream. I do have actually some chores to do tonight. So I will probably finish up the stream to go get chores done. And then I'll try to stream tomorrow. I don't know what time exactly I'll stream tomorrow, but I'll definitely try to stream tomorrow at some point. Um, yeah, so like I said right here, I think some of this area needs to be filled in. So so I think yeah, like I said, we'll put a couple of hills over there. Yeah, I mean, like I think the bus will definitely be moving quick enough or fast enough that I think we will be able to kind of get away with having not like a lot of terrain over here. But I will try to just get some terrain over here just because I want to make this area look nice. Um, And then I think I will try to add a little bit of a water feature in here somewhere. And then so that means we'll need kind of a bigger hill back here. Because I think probably what I'll do is I'll remove this hill. It's like we'll need a bigger hill back here. Maybe a little bit of maybe kind of like a smaller hill over here. And I think we'll actually make another little water feature over here as well. And some of this drain I will probably end up doing off stream, just to kind of keep the building process kind of moving along. So this will be a water. This will be a water feature right here, and then I'll probably have like some sort of water coming out of here, emptying into the lake or emptying into like the pond or whatever you would call that. And then I think right here, like I said, we'll remove this hill to make way for a water feature. We're actually getting close to that 2 hour mark, so I will probably be jumping off this stream very shortly. And actually, we might even be going a little over the 2 hour mark today, just because I do have some more stuff I want to try to get done right now to kind of have a little bit more of a completeness to the stream. I honestly do think this part of the project, I don't think we'll do the hills. I think I'll probably just finish out the water features and then I will end off the stream for tonight. I feel like I do that shape a little bit too much. I think that's about as deep as I'll go for that. All right, so we got the water features set up, and then I'll set up probably like those little streams that will feed into the water feature. I'll set those up soon. Let me just make sure we got the entire area, and just make sure I have a selection of that, so that way I can, actually I'll just do it from there. There we go. And we can fill all of that in with water. I'll do the same thing with the other one. I'll just make sure that that whole area, just make sure that whole area is filled in. Oh, boom, like that. Awesome. So then now, um, yeah, so I guess this will be kind of our spawn part one, because there's definitely a lot more that I need to do with the spawn area in this world. And I'll try to do some of it off camera so that way we can kind of keep moving along, kind of keep chugging along, so that way we're able to have a lot of new content come out kind of as quickly as possible. Because I am hoping to get Cedar Hills. I'm hoping to start building Cedar Hills. Um, so I will definitely try my best to get that started. Um, I'm just going to go ahead and sink that footer into the water. And then what I will do with these water features, I don't know if yeah, I didn't do it over here. I don't know if I did it over here. Yeah, I'm going to have to add scenery to the water. I'm also going to probably add a little bit more detailing. I'm going to probably add some dirt into the water just because all of it right now is stone. So I'm going to probably change some of it to dirt. So it's a little bit more, oh, there's a little bit more variety. And yeah, so yeah, that'll be it for today's stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. Um, please be sure to follow me on Twitch, and then also I will be reposting the stream on YouTube. So definitely be sure to subscribe to me on YouTube at Top Thrill Chief. I'm Top Thrill Chief and on YouTube as well. So just make sure that you do subscribe and like the video when that drops, and that should drop sometime tonight. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give me a follow. I'd love to hit 50 followers so that I'm able to get affiliate. That would be really awesome. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching and have a great night.